Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all of the interwebs. This is Around the Blockchain. We come to you Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you your favorite topics and your favorite guests. And speaking of your favorite guests, we got an impromptu appearance.
Where's my Ripple shirt? I'm going to shoot guns. Y'all have a good weekend.
Who is this hack? Get this hack out of here.
Bang, bang.
Some guy like pulled up in a Lambo doing donuts. I didn't know who he was. No, that all right. Rare appearance, but that's right. We got some guests that are replacing and maybe going to be even better than Ben. But let's get right into it. We have Naomi Brockwell. You can actually catch her talking to Charles Payne yesterday on Fox Business News. He did a really good job. So check out her Twitter. She got a clip up. We also have Arcane Bear. He's almost at 50,000 subs on YouTube. So let's get him. BitSquad. Let's show that BitSquad love. All the links are going to be in the description. He's almost at 50,000. Let's get him to that next level. He definitely deserves it. And we have RiceTVx. He's going to be live later on, 7 p.m. So check out. It's the Crypto Rewind. I did an episode. It was a really good show. So check it out. He gets even racier, like with his topic. So he takes it to a whole new level on that one. And CryptoStache. He just had a show yesterday where his NFTs actually did something. Now, these aren't just JPEGs that you can look at. He has interactive NFTs. So real quick, how did that go, man?
So I'm glad you asked. It went horribly. I like to say, oh my God, it was so smooth and perfect. But there was actually a problem with the on-screen notification. So I had to go back to the dev team. Yeah, I mean, it worked great in a development environment. And then when we got it out live, it wasn't
Stream elements.
Yeah, it wasn't notifying me when people were redeeming. So it's you know, it's a live stream game. So when you're live, it's hard to troubleshoot things while you're already live. You guys know this.
Yeah. Well, look, you're out there, you're doing it, you're making these NFTs. Like it's the first ones that are actually like doing something that you can interact with the streamer. The Wright brothers didn't get that plane to fly the first time. You know what I mean? So
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true, man. Yeah, this is groundbreaking stuff here, guys. So make sure you check out the channel and see what it's all about. But I'll be back on Thursday doing it. It's every Thursday. So
all right, make sure you check that out. You can maybe make them put on a Flintstones outfit or something. All right, we're gonna look at.
I was in the Flintstones outfit this last. Did you see the stream?
Yeah, I did.
That was the guys I was in.
I watch you, Stash. I watch you, man. All right, before we get into the topics, we're gonna talk about TikTok. We're gonna talk about Ethereum miners. We're gonna talk about 63,000 Bitcoin. Is it programmed in this month? Before we do that, though, let's check out the market watch. It has been absolutely molten lava hot. It is hot today. Bitcoin up over 10%. Ethereum up over 10%. Cardano, Binance, Tether. We're having Tether is up 0. But everything's popping hard. We got Solana up 16. But USDC is down. I'm bullish on. All right. So Polkadot's up. I mean, we're seeing some huge gains. We're actually looking at the losers. I was expecting Compound to be up there, or I'm sorry, Maker, but no, they've actually did okay, and they were up 6%. No, yeah, it was Compound up 6%. They just had a big scandal with the CEO threatening to dox all the people who got some extra tokens from a glitch in his protocol. But yeah, it is one of those really, really good days. It's looking like it's going to be a really good month. It looked like maybe it'll suppress down for September, but maybe October. Q4 is historically a huge, huge quarter for Bitcoin, but we're going to get into that later in the episode. But let's just get right into it. We're going to talk TikTok here. All right. And no, I'm not going to do the renegade. You know, I'll leave that to the professionals. I think we have some dancers in our Ocean crew who does our music. BJ, I think BJ dances as well. I've seen him bust a move every now and then. But TikTok is entering in the NFT space. We all know TikTok. It's the world's most used app. I was looking at their monthly users. I think it's 80 million. Yeah, 80 million monthly users. And they're announcing TikTok moments. This is kind of what you saw with maybe like the NBA Top Shots, where they're capturing moments. But they're going to be capturing popular NFTs, but it's going to be a TikTok as the NFT. So, yeah, they got a Lil Nas X, Bella Porch, even Gary Vaynerchuk. Lil Nas X, I was like, he has like 25 million followers. I think Charlie's maybe, you know, pushing towards 100 million. So, I mean, these people they're huge. Now, I'm going to cut straight to the, let's go to the NFT guy, CryptoStache. It's the most popular app, period. Is this going to have a price impact on NFTs?
I don't know. Okay, so I think that this is incredibly bullish for NFTs in general. I don't think that this is going to have a massive impact on the entire the NFT industry right now, like immediately. I think that you know, it gives really good exposure to what an NFT is, why it's important, why you might want to hold one, right? And I think that you know, all the people on TikTok who are very TikTok dominate, right? Like they're people who are on TikTok. They're not necessarily on Twitter. They're not necessarily on Reddit or, you know, any other places where the general crypto community resides. I think that this will give them some great exposure. That's what we need, because NFTs are what are going to take crypto mainstream. I know a lot of people may not think that. Maybe there's some people still on the channel here that are like, oh, NFTs, like, they're okay. Like, I don't know, maybe they're a scam. You know, but honestly, guys, NFTs, and I've said this since the beginning, and in particular, gaming is what is going to take crypto mainstream. It's an entertainment-focused medium, and that is going to be the driver for everyone getting into crypto and not even knowing it. People are going to want these TikTok NFTs. They're going to go crazy for them. They're not even going to really even know why, but they just heard the word NFT at some point. Now TikTok is making it super popular. They want to have these things because it's something they already covet and love and are cherishing on the platform. So it'll give them exposure to NFTs, and then they'll eventually they'll start to slowly spread out and like, okay, well, let me go check out what else is going on. I think it'll take a little while though. I don't think it's going to be immediate.
I mean, if we look at the go ahead.
No, I was going to say the fact that they are going to be on Immutable X, I think that's really where the bridge is going to be. My friends over Immutable, which I've been bullish on since the beginning, man. Those guys, they've had an amazing company. Been bullish on Immutable and their game gods unchained, but now with their scaling solution for Ethereum, which I think is by far the best solution out there, the fact that TikTok is using them to be able to put these NFTs out, it's a beautiful pairing there, because that'll give the people who have these and own these NFTs now exposure to all of the games and projects that are on Immutable. I mean, OpenSea's coming to it, Gods and Chains already there, Guild of Guardians, a bunch of other really cool mobile games are coming to that platform. So I'm incredibly bullish on that.
I'm gonna come to you towards the end of this topic on the Immutable X, because there's a couple things I want to talk about. Real quick, I want to read Vladimir's chat here. Vitalik equals crook. I think we found the Cardano fan. Or it's Vladimir Putin mad that he's, has the Canadian residency or something. But all right, yeah. So Little Nas X, he's going to be next. I think it's Rice's favorite artist. Some of these people are going to be doing a mix of charity. They're going to be doing, proceeds going directly to themselves. Now, who's going to have a bigger Rice? I'm gonna go to you here. What is going to have a bigger impact when it deals with NFTs? Is this going to be, Shaq tweeting about it and Tom Brady, talking about it to sports fans? Or is it going to be, like Little Nas X and Charlie D'Amelio, going to this younger audience? Now, one has more money, but one's probably younger and more into NFTs.
I personally think it'll be a combination of both. I mean, the best of both worlds. I think you're going to start seeing these older broadcasters in sports and things like that, sports moments being highlighted. I think that you're just going to see NFTs taking on a, like Stash said, it's going to be going very much mainstream. With a lot of different use cases, including the art aspects and gaming, which we've seen. And I've mentioned before about certificates and things to that effect, deeds, titles, anything like that. Just replacing the ticket industry with NFTs would be another use case for this. So, I mean, I'm completely bullish when it comes to NFTs. This right here just shows a lot more legitimacy. I mean, not only do we have TikTok doing what they're doing with capturing moments, which is really cool. They're going to be doing one-of-a-kind NFTs that are going to be memorializing these viral TikTok moments, and then other limited edition NFTs. And then we've heard the news about Twitter doing the NFT authentication. So, I mean, this is just bullish for crypto and NFTs in general. I mean, we're seeing the mainstream appeal take place. Pretty much most everybody has heard of an NFT now. So, I mean, this is a very positive thing as long as we're continuing to bring good use cases and not just pictures for the purpose of selling and making money or money laundering, what the case is. I'm really bullish on the future of NFTs.
Hey, I like my pictures of demons and devils. All right, you mentioned Twitter, you mentioned TikTok. Now, Arcane Bear, what platform of those two do you think is going to be the first that sells NFTs directly to the consumers with a marketplace?
This is one of my favorite areas about the NFT conversation, is its relationship to the social and the content creator spectrum. Just break away for the NFTs and then into the relationship with the which particular platform. I think first off, TikTok has made huge steps in the way they use their algorithm to incentivize very short, although creative behavior. although I don't spend much time on TikTok, when I do, I've always fascinated by the people who are creative there, because they're incredibly talented. But I think that this step forward to integrate a bunch of well-known content creators and the NFT sector, more than what it's good for the NFT, I think it's the development of the social layer, which is something we've been waiting to see for quite a while, which is how does Facebook or Twitter try to integrate these things? And will we see these younger platforms like TikTok actually move sooner? Something tells me that TikTok is able to move quicker because it's younger. So yeah. I would put bets on TikTok at this point, because they've been quite nimble in comparison. Once a company gets too big, it gets hard for them to move as quickly. They can make very siloed processes come together, like team management and building, but in terms of creative development quickly, they're not always as strategically placed. So my bets would be on something like TikTok, bringing the NFTs and the marketplace in, and it would be built in right into the application, and you would not even know you're using crypto by the time. So this is like a flagship process for them, from what I can tell. They're like, let's get it out there, let's fly it, and let's see how it goes, and then try to integrate it on the back end. And you would be just as easily using PayPal to credit card and maybe not even know you're using the NFT, like the traditional cryptos as we know it, like MetaMask, Web3 connections.
Yeah, I would double down on that. If Twitter was like, just 100% ran by Jack Dorsey, probably been on there yesterday, but, it's largely been co-opted by his board. They go counter, direction that he likes to go. So, I mean, you just see that a lot. I mean, Jack Dorsey and Twitter board, is two different entities, and it doesn't always go the same direction. Now, Naomi, I know you have a TikTok. I know you kind of blew up off a song. I'm just now learning this evening. I'm gonna have to look that up after the episode. Now, didn't you try to do a TikTok with Ben? Now that was a huge smashing success, right? Or how did that go?
Why you gotta troll me every time I come on here? You gotta troll me. No, my TikTok is terrible. I get no views on there. I do great on YouTube. I'm great on Twitter. Great audiences. I don't understand TikTok, and I try so hard, but it's terrible. I put out these terrible things, and no one watches them. And Ben even tried to help me. We did one together, and he's like, "Naomi, this is gonna blow up. It's gonna be great." And even with the formidable Ben Armstrong in there, it was bad. It was a really bad TikTok.
I can't imagine. Well, how about this? Let's share your TikTok. What's your TikTok? Let's get a few hundred people in there.
I don't even think. I think it's just Naomi Brockwell. I don't even know the handle because I'm on there so seldom. But
show her some love, BitSquad. All right, last question on this now.
Pissy love. Nothing I love more than that.
Last question. Now, Stash, you brought up Immutable X. Now, I kind of disagree with you. I feel like being on Immutable X will maybe actually lower the price of these NFTs because the gas fee isn't baked into the price. Now, when you have a gas fee of $300, people don't really want to sell that NFT for less than $300. Now, do you see something where like, oh, it just cost me almost nothing to get in here, I can just paper hands and sell it? Do you think that'll lower, or you're saying it's going to increase the price?
No, I mean that's a barrier to entry. Man, why the hell do you think people want to pay a $300 gas fee to be able to just buy something they want? That is ridiculous and stupid, man. Nobody I'm sorry.
I don't want to pay $300.
Right, exactly. So why are you saying that's a good thing? Like, well, but they're not there, then it might mean that people are just going to be selling and they're not going to hold their value. I mean, what it comes down to is that is a huge barrier to entry to anybody coming into NFTs. It is one of the largest barriers of entry besides getting a MetaMask wallet or understanding how to just generally get your crypto going. If you guys out there have bought NFTs on Ethereum, you understand what I'm talking about. Having to pay $200 or $300 for buying or minting a collection it is ridiculous. Go to that that website. I don't know if you guys know that website, but it checks your Ethereum fees you've paid. I'm at like $30,000+ over the course of the last couple of years. God. And most of that here just in the last like year and a half. That is a joke, man. That is a whole year's salary to some people.
I will never go to that website. I will literally never go to that website.
It's horrifying. Don't go to it.
I don't want to know.
But go do it so you understand. And maybe that I think will boost people's opinion of some of these great scaling solutions like Immutable X. Right, where you're not having to pay that. I mean, you have to pay once, just like Polygon, to get your Ethereum over onto the platform, and then from there, it works flawlessly, which is nice. But you still got to pay that dang fee to transfer it over. There are other blockchains out there, man. I would love to see some of these larger corporations, start picking up the flag for some of these other blockchains that are doing NFTs and have fledgling ecosystems that don't have these crazy fees, because that is prohibitive to bringing these new people in. TikTok people are going to see this. They're going to not really understand how to necessarily get in crypto. They're big fans of these accounts. They're going to be confused by it. It's going to be a bunch of crypto-based already OGs and whales. They're going to be buying these things up and then selling them back to these plebes once they understand how to actually get in, because it's going to take them too long to understand MetaMask, get their Ethereum, get signed up for an account, buy the Ethereum from whatever exchange account they got, load their MetaMask up from that account, and then understand
we're going to bypass all that.
Pay, right, and I still have to pay a $200 fee to get that favorite clip from my guy to get it, or to get my Ethereum over to MutaBlocks, and then pay. Like, it's ridiculous. So I think that the solution is important. What MutaBlocks is doing is important, but it's still ridiculous, regardless, for this situation, having so many new people coming in a mass adoption event like this. It is a detractor that they have to pay any of these crazy fees. But once you're there,
I paid extra fees today. I spent over like $2,000 on NFTs today. So I mean, 10% of that was gas. So yeah, I feel the pain. I feel the pain. Well, let's go to the second topic here. We're going to talk about Ethereum miners are starting to hodl. We do have a little bit of a graph. I don't know if we got that up. We might get it up in a little bit. But I'm starting to feel a little bullish. So right here, this is the Ethereum miner supply. So they're just stacking it and stacking it and stacking it. They just keep accumulating it. They're not really bouncing it out. So right now, like, since the London hard fork, they've added an additional 2 million Ether. We're looking at over $6 billion in fiat there. So they're just accumulating billions, like literally billions of dollars of Ethereum here. It's almost 20% of the total supply. They almost have a fifth of it. Now, Naomi, I know we heard the miners that are talking about, oh, it's too centralized. Like, we have this Ethereum foundation. They're going in this direction we don't want them to go to. We don't want to go proof of stake. We want to stay. The miners are saying, you're going to take all my revenue. We're going to sell. We're going to quit mining. Was that all bull crap? Were they ever going to stop mining, or were they just trying to be the greasy wheel there and, squeaky wheel and get all the grease?
Well, I mean, if I were an Ethereum miner, I would definitely be upset about it moving to proof of stake, but I'm not an Ethereum miner, and I'm absolutely thrilled that they're trying to move to proof of stake. I think that it's definitely a positive thing. I mean, I like that Zcash is also looking at moving to proof of stake. I do think that this is the future because it's just more economical, right? It's more economical rather than just using a tremendous amount of electricity. It's just not sustainable, because the more popular a network gets, the more electricity is probably going to be used. So it's I mean, Ethereum, for me, if we're talking about being bullish or not, like, I'm always kind of bullish on Ethereum. I just see it as this absolute mega coin that has this tremendous walled garden. It had this first mover advantage when it came to smart contracts. The entire NFT world has blossomed within its ecosystem. The entire DeFi ecosystem has blossomed thanks to Ethereum. Now you have all these competitors. I mean, you have Cardano, and you have Tezos, and you have Binance Smart Chain and Solana, and all of them. I mean, it's this battle for the base layer right now. I'm not sure who's going to win that. And I don't know whether they're going to take enough market share away from Ethereum before Ethereum actually figures out their scaling problems and all of the fee issues, because it's just exorbitant right now to make transactions on Ethereum. And like, although it does go down, then it goes back up again, and it's unpredictable. It's very difficult for people to build platforms on Ethereum when there is this volatility in gas prices. But I just think it's such a bullish world. We're absolutely moving towards a more decentralized future. This includes finances. This includes decentralizing trust and companies and all of that good stuff. And I definitely see Ethereum playing a very large part of that, regardless of whether they come out as number 1 or number 5 or whatever. They are, this fundamental part of the ecosystem. And traditional investors know this. Institutional players know it. They're all starting to explore Ethereum as like the next go-to now that they've already gotten involved with Bitcoin. So definitely excited to see what's to come.
Yeah, it's by far my biggest holding. I definitely agree there. Now, Rice, we have these miners. They're starting to accumulate. She brought up a good point. The institutions are coming in. They're starting to feel the FOMO. I mean, the miners, they basically just quit selling. There is a theory that a lot of them are just trying to build up to 32 ETH, so then they can then stake 2.0. Now, do you think that's the case here, or do you think they're just going to dump when they think the top is in?
Honestly, man, I don't know, but it's a really interesting develop. It's going to be really interesting to watch as this develops, because are they doing this to take out the supply so there's less people to accumulate 32 to have nodes, to try to not allow for many people? So it could have a multiple function to it. It's really interesting. I know that the ETH miners are not happy about going over to a proof of stake with ETH 2.0. I've suggested that a hybrid system would probably be more beneficial, or even upgrading Ethereum Classic to the point before the London hard fork, as I talked about before, which I think would be a great idea for Ethereum Classic. And that would give something more for the Ethereum miners to work towards for mining. So again, this is going to be really interesting. And the other thing that's really, you got to take in consideration is, and it's basically almost 19% of the supply. So
Yeah.
Like we were saying, are they holding on to that because they're looking to profit more? Are they holding on to it because they want to have 32 Ethereum so they can basically stake? Are they looking to take out of circulation to prevent other people from staking? So it's going to be really interesting to watch as everything develops. And this is the beginning of what they're calling Uptober, man. So this is going to be, the next couple of months, it's just going to be a wild ride. And I just tell people to sit back and be smart and make sure you're creating good exit strategies.
All right, Arcane Bear, put yourself in those shoes. I mean, you're building up, say you're at 20, 25 ETH, you're trying to get up to 32. Do you try to sell the top, or do you wait till 2.0 comes, you start staking and start accumulating and just earn that passive income? What direction do you go?
Well, I would assume there's in these are very large industry miners, so they're not necessarily interested in 32 Ethereum. Now, for the average individual, I have got a kind of a new thesis where generally you shouldn't sell any assets if you're under a certain age, because effectively you can accumulate. And if you need more capital, you should focus on generating revenue. Now that's a different conversation around investing and versus trading effectively, which is not where I want to go at this moment. But with the Ethereum miners themselves, I think likely what they're trying to do is position themselves to maintain some sort of valuable function by making this big investment up front, which is why you're seeing these holding situations, because it gives them a very unique opportunity moving forward. If they know they can get a set yield, they can probably take on even larger forms of financing. The same way you've seen Michael Saylor do this with debt and security notes around MicroStrategies, these mining companies could turn into effectively like Ethereum instruments, where they could take on principal buyers into their equity within the company effectively. So I would imagine the strategy that the miners are aiming is a kind of like a hybrid system. They no longer have to spend money on mining. They can now contribute that hashing power maybe back towards Bitcoin, and they're probably using this as a secondary step towards a long-term profitability. Now, in terms of Ethereum and its long-term price function, I think we're still really early in the layer one area. I've been a big fan of Avalanche since my tech team kind of showed me why it was a fun idea, and then from there I think that they're the only ones out there that have a real clear advantage. Solana is really unique and has some functions too, but in terms of where the layer one conversation is going, Ethereum, in my opinion, just an opinion, could potentially just be an NFT blockchain in the future with no DeFi contracts running on it. Avalanche does a much better job already today. It's almost like comparing a car. Like Ethereum is a Honda that they've been adding turbos and intercoolers, and they lowered it and they stiffed up the suspension. And Avalanche and Solana, they're different types of vehicles that were made a little bit nicer coming out the gate. And this is kind of Charles Hoskinson idea behind Cardano, as well as that we tried to build a better car, seeing what Ethereum had kind of got wrong with some of its stepping stones forward. So I don't think the layer one race is over yet. And in the world of venture capital, you can find technologies that go back towards just nostalgia, and not a number one use case, like where Ethereum's the go-to layer one.
All right, so yeah, this is sound advice. I mean, especially if you're on the younger end, I mean, you just accumulate. Now, Stash, I know you hate Ethereum, so you don't mind selling it. If this isn't the average retail investor. I'm kidding. Let's say you're looking at the on-chain metrics. You're like on that second level, third level of crypto trading here. You see the miners make that mass exodus, or are you maybe dumping and coming in a cheaper price here?
So let me get you straight first. I don't hate Ethereum. I want to make that perfectly clear, man.
I know.
I was making NFTs on Ethereum before I even knew what a damn NFT was. I love Ethereum. I hate Ethereum fees. I hate how crazy the fees have gotten. That makes it prohibitive to do all the cool things I want to do on the platform that other people want to do on the platform. Now, when it comes to the base layer type of stuff, we're talking about these miners and what's kind of going on, there. I think that it makes sense to be holding these assets long term. Personally, I always have Ethereum there. I don't sell my like Arcane Bear was saying. I'm at that point where I don't need to sell these assets to like pay rent or to get grocery. Like that's ridiculous. I'm stash, baby. I hodl.
Yeah,
that's
like
what I do.
just keep
All right,
accumulating,
that's what I'm
forage,
about.
collect,
Hold that
hide it in
stuff.
the forage.
All right, I think I know it's
There
going
you
to
go,
end up on
man.
the A/B testing for the 3-second clip on YouTube. It's definitely going to be you doing that with Arcane Bear next to you. Like, oh my god, I think they're fighting. All right, well, let's go to the third topic here.
Like seriously, when it comes down to these top tier cryptocurrencies, if you don't and absolutely have to sell them for some sort of reason, you should have a good reason for either trading them for something else, or if you're buying something like an NFT that you think is going to go up in value or that you really want, right? Something that's great for your collection or it's going to be usable in a game with a high utility. I think that makes sense to me. That's where most of my Ethereum goes. It doesn't go to me trading it for something else. Now, hodling 32 ETH at this point, maybe a little bit premature, but I mean, if that's your long-term plan, I don't think it's a bad one. Whenever ETH 2.0 gets around to us, you'll be ready to go and have your ETH staked in. And, I think that makes sense to be able to have that ready to go and then build from there. Not worry about like trying to catch a top or bottom with your amount of Ethereum. Sock that away and then play with whatever's left over after 32.
Yeah, and I mean, I understand we're not immortal beings. We're not vampires. Sometimes people do have bills to pay. They might want to buy a car. They might want to buy some property. We're not saying like just take it to the grave or anything. But yeah, if you don't need to sell it, don't sell it.
Damn it, DZ, take it to the damn grave. Pass it on to your grandkids. Get that generational wealth going.
No.
Don't worry about getting flashy cars and big.
I disagree there. Look, they say money
Under
can't
the
buy
Biden
happiness.
administration, there's not going to be no more generational wealth, though.
It's okay to enjoy yourself. That's all I'm saying. Money can't buy happiness, but it'll sure as heck rent you some. So we're gonna go to $63,000 Bitcoin here. This is a tweet from Plan B here. We can go to the screen here. So I tweeted it out. If you want to find it, I mean it's DZ_BTC. This tweet is from June 20th. Bitcoin is below 34K, triggered by Elon Musk's energy FUD. We all remember that. Now, we're just cut to the end here. My worst case scenario for 2021. Now, this is all based upon the Plan B model here. August, 47K. September, 43K. October, 63K. Well, guess what? He hit that right on the mark for September and August. So, I mean, a lot of people are saying, like, I mean, this is Plan B. This is one of the better indicators around. I mean, it's really hard to top that. Now, I mean, December, 135, November, 98K. I mean, we're talking about really shooting up here. Now, it is one of the more accurate ones, in my opinion. Now, Naomi, I know you've been around for a while. You've seen Plan B. Y'all covered it on CoinDesk. Well, what are your thoughts on Plan B? Is he just getting lucky, or is this math maybe checking out?
I'm still riling from the last segment. I'm so sorry to take it back there, but I'm going to answer a completely different question to the one you just gave me, because the idea that we should just hold our crypto and never use it is crazy. No. And Stash, I'm gonna fight you on this, all right? Because the idea of not spending your money in order to pass on wealth, great. Love that, can totally support that. The idea of living lean, don't spend much, I think that is fantastic. But why are you holding any fiat at all if you think that your crypto is only ever going back up in value? You should be all in on crypto if that's the case. Otherwise, you're leaving a tremendous amount of money on the table, in which case you have to spend something, and crypto is your money. If you only have crypto, then you have to spend it. And there's a tremendous amount of ways that you can actually save huge amounts of money by spending your crypto. You could be using Dash Direct and saving like 15% on every purchase. You could be using Purse.io and every single thing you buy on Amazon. You earn you save up to 33%, Stash. Bit refill.
I agree. It's the wrong strategy. That's why.
No, you guys are incorrect because you are losing money.
You borrow against them. That's what the rich do, and they're already doing this. You use those assets, you leverage,
but I actually get better returns.
That's what you do.
I get better returns if I don't take out a loan and have to pay interest on the loan. I actually save 15%. I save 33% on Purse.io. I actually save more money. Trust me, I've taken out loans. I've used these things. I use this every day in my life. You know, my aim is to be entirely in crypto, and I can bet I'm saving more money than you guys are.
know
Woo!
about
It's getting
that.
hot
Ooh.
here. So
So
hot.
yeah,
Where are the
currency
boxing
is for
gloves?
spending for sure. I spend currency. I
think-
definitely don't mind
Naomi
spending
can take
currency.
both of you.
Trading assets for dollars. If we were to go back and we were to measure this conversation out and just kind of do a month over month budgeting versus this kind of all-in mentality that you're talking about, like I have all my assets in crypto. For instance, let's go back to 2017. Let's say you were like, I'm just going to continually spend $500 a month in the things that interest me. When you do that and you don't trade in and out of your assets, it's very hard to outperform a 250x from Matic, 150x from Fetch, 40 or 50x from something like Avalanche, or like a 50 to 100x from Solana almost. It is very difficult to outpace that by spending and getting 33% back. So although I agree with you, spending currency is the point of the US dollar and why they're inflating it. It is a hot potato. You do not want to hold on to currency. You want to trade that currency for the most valuable assets that you can get your hands on and hold on to them, because when inflation and deflation start to meet heads, the paper currency becomes effectively worthless. And this is what the whole Bitcoin conversation is about, is how do we maintain some sort of value or monetary layer in the asset system. And I just, from most people, myself included, if you just follow that month over month strategy of accumulation, even if you had to go work at McDonald's, rather than spending the assets that you've saved, it's hard to outperform even having that extra $2,000 in Matic, because that's now worth $500,000 and it's only been 3 years.
Yeah.
What about
Well,
those of
What
us
you're
who
I
saying
will
get paid
doesn't
in crypto?
contradict
Boom.
anything I'm saying.
Boom.
You're
Yeah,
saying,
a lot of
like,
us get
let
paid
me
in cryptocurrency.
understand. Like, so
All
you're
right.
saying
Just my
that
thought.
only get in like dollar weight average, get the same amount of dollars each month. So what you're saying is you're betting on that volatility, but you know what other people are saying is never spend your crypto, right? If you are telling someone never spend your crypto, I think that's bad advice. Like it actually goes to your point, Arcane. You know, if you believe that the crypto's only ever going up long term, then yeah, you should already be in it, right? We've seen the rate of the US dollar. We've seen all of the inflation that's going on. This is not a good thing to hold on to. We all agree with that. That's why we're on the show.
Right.
So, you know, like you're either saying that there's going to be tremendous volatility, you don't know what the future is going to be, and maybe you'll keep some US dollars there. But if you're someone who's like only ever hold your crypto, you should be all in on crypto if you're of that mentality.
All right. Well, let's we got to rush through this last topic though, but I do agree with mostly everything said
That
there.
was
I will
fun.
say this:
That was fun.
it's okay
Thank
to
you.
have some cash. I have mine in Tether. I have mine in USDC. I'm probably split equally around the two, and it's okay to buy the dip. It's okay to cash out on the top. If we've had 7 green days in a row, yeah, maybe tether out a little bit. I say 10,
enjoy.
15. That's just my. And then you buy the dip and you buy more and you keep stacking more sats. But back to $63,000 Bitcoin. That's what the people want to hear. They want to hear about, is my Bitcoin going up in October? I personally do. I mean, we have a really good month. I mean, the stock to flow, it's looking like it's going to be really good. Rice, I'm going to cut to you. You're familiar with the stock to flow. Is he just getting lucky, or do we have a really green October on the horizon here?
I mean, considering that Septembers are notoriously not a good month generally, and Octobers are generally a good month, I definitely see us having a good October. Whether he's getting lucky, I don't think is necessarily the case, but I think that we are going to see a detachment from stock to flow ratio. I don't think that it's always going to be on point. I know Ben has mentioned that on past shows. What's interesting about Plan B is how he's able to use his metrics to be able to determine where he's going to get these pricing. So now, obviously, people have looked at this model for quite some time. But what's really going to be interesting is Q4 this year going into 2022. We have a perfect storm of craziness going on the global economic climate. From everything from what's going on with Evergrande to the BS with the U.S. debt ceiling, it's just everything is getting insane. So when you look at the perfect storm happening, if we end up having a stock market crash, then then Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies will go down. The entire market will go down. Unfortunately, as you can look at 2008 as an example, or more recently, March of 2020, what took place when everything dipped down and we had that crash, and the stock markets had to halt. So it's going to be really interesting to watch. I mean, I'm trying to stay positive about everything as far as price action and bull markets, but we are getting in a really, really interesting time period for everything economically at the end of this fiat cycle. And even though Bitcoin was created for this very purpose, the rest of the mainstream has not caught on to that idea, and they're not grabbing onto that lifeboat. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out overall. And as far as diversifying, I think it's really important to do that. I mean, I like the precious metals world. A lot of the gold and silver people aren't pro Bitcoin, but I think that they're both awesome investments to hedge against the US dollar. And I agree with both, everybody, all three people's arguments as far as hodling and spending. I myself am trying to get paid pretty much everything in cryptocurrencies, whether it's stable coins. The only fiat that I actually earn is a little tiny bit that I make from YouTube and Patreon. And that's it. So I have to use my cryptocurrencies to exist.
Yeah.
But I really do appreciate what everybody said here. And the last thing I want to add is that as far as the guest today, this has been one of my favorite shows that I got to be a part of because I have a lot of respect and admiration for everybody in here. Tiho, Naomi, Stash, and my homie DZ. So much love to you guys.
All right. Appreciate it. Yeah. So, I mean, speaking of the stock to flow model, I mean, we're looking at it. I mean, we just checked out the monthly thing there. October is traditionally a really good month. Now, Q4, I had to make sure that, I know obviously 2017, I wasn't sure with the double top of 2013 it matched up, but Q4 is traditionally a boom year for the 4-year cycle. So 2013, 2017, 2021, we're seeing these insane gains. Now, Stash, do you think that, this year is going to match where we just have a incredible October, November, December?
I mean, I think that we will. I honestly think that we will. I don't think that we're going to have as big of a Q4 as Plan B is predicting here, though. I think that this is where we're going to really see that deviation from his stock to flow model. I think that, the 2 months he's previously called were pretty easy to call when you look at Bitcoin and what it did with its all-time highs here earlier in the year. But getting up into the 100K plus level, I mean, I would love to see that, man. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I'm a perma bull when it comes to Bitcoin and how bullish everyone should be on it as an asset. But I think that target may be a little bit off. I mean, I could see us breaking an all-time high, but I don't necessarily see us getting up to those types of levels. When you look at some of these, in general, Q4 has been good, but we've also had some pretty big downturns in Q4 as well. 2018 was one of those years. And then not so big, but in 2019 during this kind of the major bear market there, but in between the big bull markets we had in 2017 and 2020, so we may see kind of a 2-year Q4 downtrend before we see a really major Q4 again. I don't know.
All right, and people are asking XRP blast off. If Bitcoin blasts off, probably everything is going to blast off, and we're going to end it with what. Naomi loves the price prediction. So yeah, I mean, Bitcoin it goes, everything follows. So we're going to do, all right. So Plan B, pull up the screen real quick on the tweet here. So, I mean, he was on point with August. He was on point with September. October is just shy of all-time high. So we're going to go around the circle here and say, I'm not even going to say 63, just 60. Because I think 63 at this point, this is going to get popular. It's going to get baked in. So I'm starting Rice to go around the circle. Can we hit 60 in October? Will we hit 60 in October?
I believe so, 100%.
All right. I love it. CryptoStache, will we hit 60 in October?
I think we're going to get just below 60. I think it's going to hit 58, creeping in that 60. And I think we're going to maybe at the end get there. But I think that we're going to just miss it by a hair.
Okay. Remove 20 points from him. I'm kidding. Naomi, will we hit 60?
Well, is the government going to keep printing absurd amounts of money? Well, people are going to be looking for a place to, park the value of their money. So, yeah, it's quite possible.
All right. And Arcane Bear, in it with you. I mean, bear's in your name, but do you have a bearish narrative for October?
Oh, that's because we just like to accumulate and forge things. We do good at collecting berries.
And he's arcane.
More than October, November. I think 100,000 by December and January is what I'm most interested in. I'm interested in when the bull market comes to an end and we go back into accumulation season. So $100,000 Bitcoin by the end of December. I agree with that part for sure.
All right, I love it. So it's definitely not October. Okay, that was bad. That
No.
was a Ben joke.
No,
Ben wrote that one
Nicely
for me.
done.
Ben wrote that one for me. Let the record state that. All right, well, CryptoStache, you just edged out Naomi. Y'all had your little head-to-head battle.
No,
Chat
she should
loved
have
it.
it.
They
She
were
should
going
have it. We
crazy.
talked too much.
They loved it. I mean,
I
you
was
drew out the
defeated.
segment, but got you right at the end. And again, make sure you check out Naomi's TikTok. Make sure you check out CryptoStache's YouTube. Naomi Brockwell, she also has a great YouTube, so check it out. And Stash, you get the final 30 seconds. You know, leave us some parting thoughts heading into the weekend here.
Parting thoughts. So going back to the HODL thing, you know, there's nothing wrong with cashing out if you need to. But, you know, keeping your money in assets that appreciate over time, I think is incredibly important. And there's a huge value there to be able to do that, right? Every strategy is different for every person. That's kind of the thing here is that, you know, not everything is going to work out for everybody. Find out what works for you. Find out where it works best for you, but have some sort of long-term plan. I think that's important, right? Long-term thinking, find out what works for you and make that money work for in your favor. That's what we want to do.
All right. We love it. And that's all we got time for this weekend. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. 11 a.m. NFT update tomorrow. And there's 2 low cap gyms you might want to check out. And maybe I'm hosting the episode. So, all right, that's all we got time for. We'll see you Monday later on, BitSquad. DZ out.
Work.